पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा, ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं दे सकता? क्यों नहीं?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hi there, good evening. Welcome to the Sunday edition of This is Exclusive. A man-made disaster panned out at a nightclub in Goa as illegalities built into the system led to an inferno which claimed 25 lives. That's the tragedy under focus. We're going to bring to you some exclusive elements of how this disaster panned out, what happened which should not have happened in terms of those illegalities being allowed, and what next. Let's begin with the headlines. "25 killed in tragic Goa nightclub fire tragedy. Chief Minister Pramod Sawant orders inquiry, seeks report in 7 days. Police arrest Birch nightclub managers, 4 of them in connection with the fire tragedy. More Indigo cancellations continue for 6th straight day. Over 600 flights across major airports cancelled. Parliament set for historic debate on 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram. That's tomorrow. Prime Minister Modi to initiate the debate in the Lok Sabha. Well, friend, 25 people, including 4 tourists and 14 staff members of the establishment, were killed in a fire at a nightclub, the Birch by Romeo Lane in Goa. Around 100 people were inside when smoke filled the building, and many ran towards the basement area where there were no proper exits or ventilation. 25 died, most of them due to suffocation and asphyxia, and about 50 were injured. The club had earlier received demolition notices, and several safety lapses are under investigation now, including flammable materials, pyros as they are called, inadequate exits, and lack of fire clearances. In fact, we are going to bring to you an exclusive document which shows how notices were given by the local panchayat, and yet somehow the system was gamed, and that should be the focus of investigation. The Goa Chief Minister, in fact, was asked this question by our correspondent Swarali there, and let's see how he responded. All right, that's the document actually on air, which is a show cause notice which was slapped by the local panchayat. And this is essentially underscoring the illegalities as highlighted by us. And you can see how the village panchayat was aware that there are illegalities involved, and that this nightclub should not be functioning. And yet this was allowed to. That's the issue under scanner now, under probe. Let's listen to what the Chief Minister had to say when he was questioned by our correspondent there in Goa.
पहले जो बता रहा हूँ, ये इंसिडेंट्स यानी 11:45 रात को हुआ, आरपोरा यह जगह पे हुआ है, और इंसिडेंट होने के बाद तुरंत विदिन द 45 मिनट्स आवर एंटायर पुलिस टीम, फायर डिपार्टमेंट टीम्स वाज देयर. It is very difficult for the fire departments to reach to that exactly to the club because of the various obstructions. But फिर भी यानी within half an hour जो फायर कंट्रोल वहाँ लेना था उन्होंने फायर कंट्रोल लिया, और जब अंदर जाके उनको सिर्फ यानी 2 डेड बॉडी ऊपर दिखे, इसीलिए उन्होंने पहले उसको सिर्फ 2 डेड बॉडी बताई. लेकिन बाद में जब वो क्लब के अंडरग्राउंड गए तब उसको बाकी जो 23 डेड बॉडीज़ जो दिखे वो दिखे. लेकिन अंदर वाले जो डेड बॉडीज़ थे उनके लिए कोई यानी फायर इंजरीज नहीं थे. बिकॉज ऑफ द सफोकेशन से इंसिडेंट हुआ. मुझे लगता है कि जो प्रिलिमिनरी इंक्वायरी और प्रिलिमिनरी जो रिपोर्ट सामने आया है, जो यानी इलेक्ट्रिकल फायर क्रैकर्स कुछ जो जलाते हैं विद इन द क्लब्स, इसकी वजह से फायर उसको लगी, और पूरे ऊपर से उनका पूरा क्लब उसको पहले पूरे आग लगी, और बाद में कुछ लोग बाहर आ सके, बाकी लोग जो बाहर नहीं आए, इसलिए इंसिडेंट्स हुआ.
We are in fact going to Swarali live. We'll play the chase sequence in a bit, which she did by asking that question to Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant. And Swarali, to you first. You have been there on the ground since morning. Do you see the intent of the administration there to punish those guilty because there were illegalities, as it comes out from that document we showed of the village panchayat calling the establishment illegal?
Right. So let me tell you what we have fetched from the current press conference that has been held by the Goa Chief Minister. Let me tell you, a magisterial probe has been ordered and all the illegal constructions or such nightclubs will be audited and a list of SOP will be generated for the further advisory. On the other hand, when we tried to talk and interact with the CM, he has said that a team has been sent to Delhi to arrest the owners of this Birch nightclub, and FIR has been registered as well. On the other hand, 4 people are arrested, including chief manager and manager level dignitaries of this Birch nightclub. So, on the other hand, it is also being said that a strict action has been instructed to DGP against all the officers involved in this entire process. Whoever was responsible for giving permissions, whether it be the trade permission or fire safety protocol permission, all the related officers will be suspended. That is what CM has informed. On the other hand, opposition parties of Goa are alleging that at all level lapses were seen, and they are saying that without political will, such an incident cannot take place in a sense that how was the permission given to this nightclub? Even after the demolition order processed by Panchayat, by the Sarpanch was present at the Arpora village, still this nightclub was functioning, and that too beyond the limit. It was functioning after 12 a.m. because this incident has happened midnight. So questions are still lingering. On the one hand, where the government is saying that strict action will be taken, but it is a fair investigation is demanded by opposition, and it really matters how could this happen and how the entire lobby is working without licenses is a question.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Swarali, stay with us. You earlier did a question, threw a question at the Chief Minister of Goa after the press conference. Let's listen to that and hear that chase sequence. And then I come back to you, Swarali. Stay with us.
आपकी जो अपोजिशन पार्टी है तो ये कह रहे हैं कि पॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट के बिना पूरे कोस्टल लाइन पर इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं चल सकता है.
यहाँ पे कोई इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं चल रहा है, इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि जिसके ऊपर यानी इसी क्लब और बाकी के ऊपर हम स्ट्रिक्टली एक्शन ले रहे हैं.
सर ओनर्स के
FIR हमने रजिस्टर्ड किया है, उनको हम अरेस्ट करेंगे.
उसके लिए टीम्स कहाँ भेजी गई है सर?
दिल्ली भेज गई है.
आपकी जो अपोजिशन पार्टी है तो ये कह रहे हैं कि पॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट के बिना पूरे कोस्टल लाइन पर इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं चल सकता है.
यहाँ पे कोई इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं चल रहा है, इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि जिसके ऊपर यानी इसी क्लब और बाकी के ऊपर हम स्ट्रिक्टली एक्शन ले रहे हैं.
सर ओनर्स के
FIR हमने रजिस्टर्ड किया है, उनको हम अरेस्ट करेंगे.
उसके लिए टीम्स कहाँ भेजी गई है सर?
दिल्ली भेज गई है.
All right, Swarali, it's surprising that the Chief Minister said that there is no illegal construction because we have the show cause notice which we accessed of the Arpora village panchayat, which clearly says that this is absolutely illegal and that the records show that the structure in which you are running business activity, for which this office has already issued demolition order, it was illegal, and even a demolition order was issued by the village panchayat. How is the Chief Minister saying it's surprising that there is no illegal activity going on? I mean, the FIR says so.
Exactly. So that's the question which is lingering for the locals and people who are deceased, and the families are asking question that at multiple level lapses was seen, and on the other hand locals are also informing us that there are several such nightclubs, and opposition parties is claiming it's allegedly that several such nightclubs, restaurants are can be seen on the entire coastline of North Goa, and specifically in the Arpora village several such businesses are being run. On the other other hand, we have an official document saying from the village itself calling for the demolition and asking an answer within a week. So the question arises how the investigation will take us forward on one hand, wherein the proofs are going against the administration and lapses at several levels. On other hand, government is claiming that strict action will be taken. But a very important point over here is that 25 lives have been lost and all the questions should be answered through the fair investigation. Back to you.
All right. In fact, Shorali, you know, things are not really adding up. The show cause notice is very clear. It says that this is illegal, that this structure that from which you are running this place already has a demolition order. And somebody put a stay on this demolition order, and that's what the contention of the village panchayat is, even as the chief minister says there is no illegality. Let's listen to him once again.
आपकी जो ऑपोजिशन पार्टी है तो ये कह रहे हैं कि पॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट के बिना पूरे कोस्टल लाइन पर इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं चल सकता है।
यहाँ पे कोई इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं चल रहा है, इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि जिसके ऊपर यानी इसी क्लब और बाकी के ऊपर हम स्ट्रिक्टली एक्शन ले रहे हैं।
और सर ओनर्स के
एफआईआर हमने रजिस्टर्ड किया है, उनको हम अरेस्ट करेंगे।
उसके लिए टीम्स कहाँ भेजी गई है सर?
दिल्ली भेज गई है।
All right, Shorali, now, you know, we are just trying to connect the dots here and to understand what's really amiss. The Chief Minister in the press conference clearly said that the action would be taken against officers who are found involved in condoning this illegality. In fact, he said that how the stay order was given, even that would be, you know, investigated. There was a demolition notice given or demolition order given by the village panchayat. This was stayed. So obviously there is Mili Bhagat. There is involvement of lower levels of bureaucracy in letting this establishment function in the manner that it was functioning. The Chief Minister cannot ignore that. I think we lost the line there with Shorali. We are connecting again. This is a show cause notice, which is of March 2025, which is of March this year, 24th of March to be precise. And this is signed by Raghuveer D. Bagar, and he's secretary of the Arpora Nagwa Village Panchayat. And the notice is addressed to Surinder Kumar Khosla of the establishment, that is the Birch Nightclub. And it says, whereas it is observed that you are running illegal business of nightclub in the property bearing number so-and-so, situated at Sankwadi, Arpora, Bandes, Goa, and also causing noise pollution by playing loud music beyond the permissible limits. And it is also observed that you are running illegal business in the name and style of Birch, which is not registered. So multiple level of illegalities there in the village panchayat show cause notice, Swarali. It was not registered. It was not registered in the name with which it was running. It was creating noise pollution beyond the permissible limits. And the place itself is said to be illegal, and that is why it's sought to be destroyed, demolished, so far as the show cause notice of the village panchayat is concerned. In the press conference, Swarali, which you attended, the Chief Minister said that action would be taken against those officers who stayed this order. So obviously there is an element of Mili Bhagat at the lower levels of bureaucracy insofar as this establishment is concerned.
Exactly, and whatever information we are fetching from the ground even shows the similar kind of lapses that we are talking about. Let me tell you, according to the demolition notice, you know, there are three different points about the illegal business being run, crossing the permissible sound limit, because the incident itself has happened at 2:30 a.m. If we talk about the fire security arrangements, there was no exit in the kitchen, and that's why when CM himself informed the press conference that only 2 bodies were found initially on the upper deck when the actual fire incident happened. 23 people's dead body was found below where the kitchen area was there, because they went down to take a shelter from the fire tragedy, but they succumbed to succumb to the kind of environment that was generated over there. So no fire safety protocol was in place. There was the notice of the demolition was not answered, as in the illegal business. There is not specified anywhere in the investigation, or even CM could not answer. When we tried to ask him about what actions will be taken related to the officers involved in this entire process, because the permission is given by the different section of the administrative department. At that time, he was a bit uncomfortable and could not specify which officers were involved. But we were only informed that a magisterial inquiry will take place. On the other hand, they have informed us that the all the nightclubs or other properties owned by the owners of the Birch, that is Saurabh and Rishabh, all those properties across Goa are sealed. That's what they have informed. But the question still remains the same, that if the permissions were given and such nightclubs are functional across the state, where is the administration? And it's a huge level of failure.
Absolutely. Huge failure there, leading to loss of life, a tragic loss of life of 25 individuals. And unfortunately, 14 of them, in fact, workers at the same establishment, 4 of them tourists. Some remain unidentified, even as a probe is picked up. We expect that the Chief Minister of Goa is going to be more forthright over the next few days and make sure that all those who allowed this establishment to function despite the illegalities brought out by the show cause notice of the village panchayat are taken action against. And on that note, we move on to the next one, which is the story which has been trending for the last few days with the kind of sector-wide chaos that's ruled Indian civil aviation because of the failure of Indigo's management practices. Indigo's operational chaos and the disruption. It entered day 6, in fact, on Sunday. Now we have the CEO, Peter Elbers, expressing regret over the delays and cancellations. But then is that enough? Because remember, there are reports that his job is on the line, both from within the management as also, of course, the DGCA, making it amply clear that there have been absolute absence. There has been absolute absence of best practices over the last few days, leading to the complete collapse. Let's listen to what Peter Elbers had to say.
I'm standing here at Indigo's Operations Control Center in Gurgaon. As you can see the bus going on in the background, my colleagues here are working relentlessly to further stabilize and normalize the Indigo operation. For me, they symbolize the unwavering spirit, professionalism and incredible commitment of all at Indigo. Once again, my sincerest appreciation for the great work each and every one of you is. I'm standing here at Indigo's Operations Control Center in Gurgaon. As you can see the bus going on in the background, my colleagues here are working relentlessly to further stabilize and normalize the Indigo operation. For me, they symbolize the unwavering spirit, professionalism and incredible commitment of all at Indigo. Once again, my sincerest appreciation for the great work each and every one of you is doing.
All right, so that's sort of an apology by the CEO of the Indigo Airlines, but what does it really mean? Because the kind of disruptions we have seen over the last 5 days, the kind of inconveniences, chaos and absolute mayhem there insofar as the passengers, the people, those flying for their basic needs, professional work, personal travel, all are concerned. We have aviation expert J. Venkateshwara Rao joining us. Mr. Rao, if you heard the Indigo CEO, do you sense even an iota of sincerity in that apologia? Because remember, this is coming amidst reports that even the DGCA might seek action against the CEO from Indigo.
To be very honest, this is a little too late in the day. The very fact that they did not adhere to the FDTL regulations speaks volumes. Today, whatever the staff are putting in, kudos to them, but they have been brought to this stage thanks to the inefficient management, including the CEO. I mean, DGCA wants to take action against the CEO. That's very good. But what action will be taken against DGCA, who has been sleeping on this for the last 2 years? They should have monitored whether Indigo had recruited the required number of crew, pilots and cabin crew. They have failed miserably. The government, the Civil Aviation Ministry has also failed. This fiasco, again, like I have always maintained, this has been created. Indigo thought it will get away with blue murder, but unfortunately the uproar in the country, the uproar by channels like you, have forced them to backtrack. Otherwise, you would see in one day, they thought that they'll tell the DGCA we won't be able to operate, and they say, okay, sorry, continue. No, their plan failed. This is nothing but blackmail.
Absolutely.
It was nothing but blackmail on the part of Indigo.
And Mr. Rao, since you are putting the onus on the DGCA also, what needs to be done at that end? Because ultimately...
Heads need to roll, sir. It's as simple as that. You first of all, sir, to be very honest with you, we all are discussing these FDTL violations. None of us realize that the DGCA did not have the powers to give those dispensations in the first place. We have forgotten that there's an amendment to the aircraft rule, and section 133A has been read down by the Delhi High Court.
Yeah.
Which said that DGCA the Director General has no powers to give dispensation. And how did they give dispensation for 2 years? That is a fundamental question. And I'm making this statement with full responsibility. It is a quid pro quo. You see, when I read the press statement given out by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, it's laughable.
Absolutely.
Imagine he's saying, I'm keeping it in abeyance for flight safety. Flight safety of whom? You're keeping the rules that is going to adhere to flight safety in abeyance to say that you're taking care of flight safety. That is the biggest joke.
And then Mr. Rao, also the fact of the matter is that you cannot leave it like this, because Indigo might be able to normalize operations over the next few days or a week or 10 days. But the fact of the matter is, if this duopoly is allowed to function, if Indigo continues to remain almost a monopoly with 65% market share, I mean, then obviously you are at their mercy.
Correct. I totally agree. But this duopoly has been created by whom? The management. The DGCA. Had the DGCA monitored that Indigo had adhered to the... See, to be very honest with you, the aviation jargon, there is something called a standard force. A standard force is of the crew and the pilots and the cabin crew is decided based on the norms of the car, the DGCA car. So if Indigo was not maintaining a standard force, what was DGCA doing?
Absolutely.
You see, you can't see. Unfortunately, pilots and cabin crew, you cannot train them on the job.
Yeah, it's going to be a long haul. It's going to be a long haul and needs a system-wide cleanup, both at the end of the airlines and, of course, even inside the government, inside the Ministry of Civil Aviation, maybe the DGCA itself. On that note, thank you so much, Mr. Venkateshwara Rao, for joining us with that perspective. We want to end this bulletin with a breaking news development coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. In fact, the agencies have busted a terror hideout done by the Jammu and Kashmir police in Doda. The hideout was in is in upper forested area of Khatri, and the J&K police has also recovered one SLR rifle, 2 magazines and 22 live rounds that have been recovered from this terror hideout. Gursimran joins us live for more on this. Gursimran, it seems like just ahead of the winter, the security agencies are on their toes and making sure that winter does not prove to be a conducive weather for the terrorists to create these kind of hibernation hideouts which help them when the summer comes.
Yes, Abhishek, absolutely right that ahead of the onset of the winters, there have been multiple coordinated search operations and the extensive operations that have been launched by the security forces. And as we speak, the security forces have been able to bust a major terror hideout in the upper reaches of the Thatri. It was during the search operation that was launched early this morning that the recovery has been made. That include the SLR rifles. 2 magazines have also been recovered along with 1 rifle, and 22 live rounds have also been recovered from this area. This is in the upper reaches of the Thatri, the forested area where the recovery has been made. And here at this very place, there have been active input with the intelligence agencies that there are movement of the Jewish terrorist group that has infiltrated a couple of years back and are still active in this very area. Abhishek.
All right. Thank you so much, Gursimran, with those details. And with that, we slip into a short break and come to an end of this bulletin. In fact, after a short break, live and breaking is on the other side.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर्पियोर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, प्यार। मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा, ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता, क्यों नहीं कर सकता, क्यों नहीं कर सकता। मेरे को प्यार चाहिए अभी।